This is Guy Pacho with the Weekly Pele Report. By God, it's February 13th of 2019, and the moon has just gone into Gemini. It's about 2 degrees right now, and you know, I'm out here. I think I beat the cicadas. They usually start around 8 o'clock when the sun gets warm enough. So I'm gonna just try to get this sucker done. Anyway, today, like right now, Mars is conjunct Uranus. Yeah, it's actually exact tomorrow, but it's there, and you may be feeling it. I'll be talking about it. You know, that moon is square Neptune and opposite Jupiter, trining the sun today up there in late Aquarius later on. Oh, that's tomorrow, sorry. Anyway, the big thing is the sun is going into Pisces. Oh, yeah. All right, and that is happening on Monday. Monday is a huge day. This is a very powerful weekend, actually, because Venus, even though it's kind of there now, it's going to be exactly conjunct Saturn on Monday. And at the same time, Mercury, okay, is approaching Neptune. So we are going to have a Mercury conjunct Neptune. When? On Monday. And Chiron, you know, I've been talking about Chiron there, you know, the last degree of Pisces. On Monday, Chiron goes into Aries. So this is all happening, you know, just before that full moon. You see the river down there? It's all happening just before that full moon. That full moon is at 0 degrees, 42 minutes of Virgo. Just after that sun goes into Pisces, we got a full moon on the Pisces-Virgo axis. So last but not least, what I probably want to talk about today is that black moon Lilith is also exactly conjunct the sun on Sunday. I use the true black moon Lilith, so just in case, I've had some people that want to discuss that. So you got it. Okay, today the moon is in Gemini. Friday she goes into Cancer. Sunday goes into Leo. Bopping around with all those aspects. I mean, the big one with the moon is on Saturday, actually, because the moon, okay, comes into an opposition with Venus, Saturn, and Pluto, which are all coming together here, you know. I mean, after Venus conjuncts with Saturn, she's going to move ahead and hit Pluto next Saturday, a week from Saturday. So this is a pretty powerful time, and I don't know, I'll find a place here by the river and sit down and talk about it. Okay, I'm going to give this a shot. It's a big week. It's, you know, 3 conjunctions: Venus, Saturn, Mars, Uranus, Mercury, Neptune. Wow. You know, conjunctions are coming together. You know, and Venus approaching Saturn is letting go, okay, of the last year's cycle. Mercury approaching Neptune is letting go, okay, and Mars, you know, hit Uranus. So you know, so this is like end begin, end begin, end of an old way, of old thoughts, of old relationships, of old ideas, of old beliefs, and into the new. And into the new, at the conjunction point, at the beginning, there is this kind of like, what's going on? You know, it's like it's all new. You know, it can be, you know, trigger some insecurities here. Like, you know, I let go of the old trapeze, you know, but I haven't quite grabbed the new trapeze. You know, I let go of the old job, I don't have a new job. I let go of the old relationship, I don't have a new relationship. There's this kind of in-between point. I think I even mentioned it last time, right? You know, that space between the impulse and the action. So it's like really liberating and freeing in one way, But it's, it can be freaky and scary and, bring up a lot of stuff in another way. So what's it bringing up? Well, let's say, we had the new moon in Aquarius. Okay, and Aquarius is about stepping outside of the conventions of the norm, of the usual, to raise the bar, see the whole picture. Okay, it is having the vision. Now that sun's moving into Pisces. And it kind of goes from, I look at Uranus, and Aquarius as, more 6th chakra. And Pisces is taking it, okay, I see, I know, I've got the vision. It's like my third eye's open. And what now? Pisces to me is love, heart, union, spirit, oneness. So we're doing this switch of, can I move my, my knowledge, my knowing into love, into union? Or is it going to serve to separate me and isolate me even more? So, Pisces has to do it in a way sacrificing the ego or the self, and really being more of a medium or a channel. Yeah, for spirit, for the divine. So what have we got there? Mercury coming around to Neptune. Oh my God. Mercury, left brain thinking. Okay, like the ego monkey mind. Stops in and checks in with Neptune. Woo! Neptune in Pisces. All there is. No boundaries, no laws, no rules. It's beautiful. It's unity, spiritual consciousness. It's mysticism and oneness. So it's like this is a time of dreams. And it can also be a time of, depression. Like this earthly physical world is so limited and bounded. I want to get out. I want to escape. I want to imagine. John Lennon had Mercury conjunct Neptune. And he wrote, imagine, imagine, And when you read the headlines and stuff like that, you have to imagine. Because boom, the karma's hitting the fan, man. South Node, Saturn, Pluto, all of 2019, it's karma cleanse. Karma cleanse, karma cleanse. The old patriarchy, the old hierarchy, the old, definitions of masculine and feminine and morals and ethics that I talk about a little bit in the mantra today, this is all, we're all, we're evolving, right? New definitions as the consciousness expands. So this Mercury Neptune can, it can either take us out or we can bring it in. It's like this portal's open. It's like the door is open. Which way do you want to go? We're still here in the body, man. So I think it's better to bring it in rather than check out. Mars conjunct Uranus. Today, now. Okay, Mars, yang, masculine, penetrate, act, I'm gonna do it. Uranus, open my third eye, liberate, become illuminated, actively seeking, wanting, desiring, illumination. These are some tall orders, right? It's like the bar is pretty freaking high these days. Sun going into Pisces, Mercury, Neptune, Mars, Uranus. We're having all the personal planets, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, hit, okay, the transpersonal or trans-Neptunian planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. After Venus is done with Saturn, she's going to, bump into Pluto. It's just like, whoa, will the fun never stop? I don't know. It's not being so fun for me because what? This is the challenge. This is the challenge. This full moon, Virgo, Pisces, you could call it the perfection axis. Okay, Pisces is the ideal, the spiritual, woo! Open-hearted, one with all that is. In la kesh a la kin. I am another you. And Virgo is ground it, make it real, get your act together, live it and walk it, or, face, self-criticism, shame, or guilt, or whatever, because, you're not perfect. I'm feeling very imperfect these days. Remember, this is a Pele report. I'm just a reporter. Astrology gives us this view. So I'm just throwing out some ideas here to contemplate, see if it resonates or not. I feel like this is one of the heaviest mantras I ever wrote. It's like, whoa, it's got all the weighted words, and this is like what we're dealing with. The big mantra for this year, is deciphering what is true and making it you. So there's a lot of false prophets, there's a lot of false teachings, there's a lot of, just bullshit going on. And Venus, Saturn, Pluto is bringing it up, it's bringing it out. Okay, this whole Me Too thing, I'm down here in Costa Rica, this ex-Nobel Prize winning, president is now, being, put on the stand, with the Me Too women that he, abused. And it brings up an interesting point that I want to bring in, that this is, men and women, masculine and feminine thing going on, with all of this. Because in the article, in the paper, the woman said, he was the president at the time, and she wanted to get his signature on, something that she was doing. And she said, well, yeah, I did go along with him. It was like I was afraid that he wouldn't sign the thing that I was doing. Right? It's kind of an interesting dynamic. We have this black moon Lilith conjunct the sun right now. And she's, going back and forth all through Aquarius and Pisces, this year. And she's going to be hitting the sun now here for a little bit. And she's really calling us up and calling us out. And this is the Kali energy. But she's also this Kundalini force and this sexual force that can be abused or misused by men and or women. It's not like one sex has a particular corner on morality. In fact, I was also reading this article just the other day. In fact, I could post it on Facebook. The new deception, the sexy, spiritual, successful goddess. And how we've also got, Lilith can also be kind of creeping in here as a force of seduction. Okay, and this is, Lilith is the co-ruler for me of Scorpio, along with Pluto and Mars, and this is about power and us wanting power. And Pluto, Saturn, Venus is also money, right? And this, coming into Capricorn is authority and power and influence. So there is this drive now, and of course Kundalini is a very powerful force. And it's coming up within each and every one of us. It's like, man, it's time for a little more power over and a little more control over my destiny, over my relationships, over my, finances and things like that. It's just like, so there's kind of this power grab going on, with all of this stuff. And of course, this reaching for more and more power brings up, all of the shadow. So we all get to look at our shadow, and all I can say is the ego works in mysterious ways. And that's where it comes back to this deciphering the truth. And we can justify ourselves or tell ourselves stories, when the ego's just grabbing for more power, right? And we can, just mush up and mingle up and, transfer and change around. So many of, our stories to justify our actions and behaviors. Only now, Saturn, South Node, Pluto is going to frickin' call us on our BS. right? And that, and that's what, today's mantra is about. I mean, I could go on and on and on about this stuff, I mean, it's just like, wow. This reflection is bringing, like I say, it's maturity, it's the elder, and it is, really coming into an objective view of where I have been and setting new goals as to where I want to go, or what, what my character is. This is just who I want to be in the world, and I'm going to stand in that, come criticism, success, good reputation or not. This north node of the moon is down there in Cancer, calling us home, calling us into the feeling, the waters. So this week is just a time, and this full moon, I mean, it's not coming around until Tuesday, but it is really a time of waking up to our patterns, and those patterns go way back into childhood. They go way back into past lifetimes, and so much of what we can be doing is seeking what? Mars in the masculine, right, is about freedom, and Venus in the feminine is about connection, and we can be using our bodies, using our minds, using our influence, using our position, okay, to obtain either more freedom, to like a license, strictly for self, or with the feminine, this connection that's going to get me more power, prestige, and I'll use, whatever I've got in order to connect with something bigger, higher, wider, broader, greater than myself. So, I mean, it's like looking at these words, let me just get into the mantra now, right? Where there is a lack, what? Sorry, man. I don't want to get it wrong. It has to be perfect. Where there's a lack of depth and intimacy, ethics, morals, and honesty, I know that it begins with me standing in truth with integrity. I mean, it's like coming home to Cancer. This is an excellent week, an excellent time for reviewing where I have been. And I want to bring in this Venus-Mars connection with sexuality, with profane sexuality and sacred sexuality. And it was so great, looking at this, I Googled sacred and profane and integrity and morality, and and you get these definitions, and it's like they're just so outdated. They're old because they've got so much to do. They'd even brought up biblical references, okay, and God, okay, and all these kind of religious ways and beings, and the secular and all this and that. And it's just like we're really, I feel like humanity is struggling to redefine what is sacred. And and I'm going to look at Pisces as being sacred. I'm going to look at Pisces as being the spiritual unity and oneness. And it's just about, I'm doing this course with my wife on, sweet love. It's a Kundalini approach. I could put a link for that somewhere too, with Jai Dev and Simrit. Awesome Kundalini yogi and yogini teaching about love, and the old yogic wisdom teachings having to do with this, with this whole relationship and this whole sacred union and sexuality. And it says that, before penetration, first of all, the male is, giving the seed, right? And the seed, obviously this is all about having babies, first of all. And it is the most, intense, pleasurable physical experience that we can have with these bodies. So it's like, it gives us, it's rejuvenating, it's fulfilling, it's, sharing, it's connecting, and there can be depth and intimacy in this union, and it can be sacred sexuality, or, it can be used, and we can use our bodies as tools, as instruments, for ego gratification. This is this profane, the physical act without the depth, without the intimacy. Taurus without Scorpio, right? It's just like this is this polarity of earth and water, and Scorpio, Pluto, soul union and humbling alchemical change through that union. Or, right, the other aspect is, no, I'm not changing, I'm just having a good time, I'm having casual sex. But the thing with the Kundalini says, you know what? There's no such thing as casual sex. Because when you're merging your sexual fluids, you're merging karma. You're merging deep soul information, okay, from lifetimes, and it's not casual. Especially when Venus is conjunct Saturn and Pluto. So this is a time to really look at how we are making love, why we are making love, who we're making love with, what this love, love, sex is all about. These are the issues really coming up here. And in this course, we're talking about, is at least for men and women. I mean, we can, same sex, there's still this Mars, Venus, masculine, feminine dynamic going on. But when we're talking about men and women, we're talking about penetration. And penetration or intercourse, they're talking about, first of all, the man, okay, wants to only penetrate the woman when her aura is 9 feet expanded out of our, her physical body by 9 feet, 3 meters, okay, and it's like, what, our aura is usually, for so many, people, our aura is like, it's pretty close. And what we have to do is like energize, relax, open, invite in spirit, light, and just, expand and expand and expand. And then when that union occurs through these expanded, auras, this is depth, man. This is intimacy. This is like real spiritual Pisces union. And so this, this Mercury, Neptune can go for it. And I had the image of basketball. It's like, it's like shooting baskets. Sex can be like the basket, and you can hit the basket. But you can practice and practice and practice and practice. But the idea is to get it in the hoop. Do you have this ultimate orgasm experience where you are connected with your partner? Maybe it's simultaneous orgasm, and you are doing a true spiritual union with all 7 chakras, not just this profane physical union of the first and the second chakras. You see what I'm saying? It's like, that's the basket. The basket, is like, boom, the ultimate union of 2 soul, physical, spiritual beings. And that brings in the sacred, that brings in source, creator, whatever you want to call it. This is where it like really happens. Where it doesn't happen is when the female's aura is not expanded, and she's not open, and she's not all really there, yeah. And it doesn't boom, and it doesn't happen with masturbation, because there's not this union. So it's like, this is just like, spilling the seed. It's like, yeah, it feels good and everything or whatever. for the woman, it can be, it's pleasurable, but it's different. Yeah. Taurus has to do with masturbation and self-pleasure. Scorpio, I'm talking about Pluto, Venus, Saturn here, okay? And Mars, Uranus reaching for this highest experience, and now it's in Taurus. Mars is really going for it. Venus is really going for it. All the planets are really going for it. They are reflections of us, right? That's what astrology is, as above, so below. It says that in so many levels and ways, it's time for us as human beings to really go for it. Oh man, enough chatter for today. Just a few things to think about, and if it resonates, fine, and if it doesn't, that's fine too. I hesitate to talk about some of this stuff because there is so much, judgment. There is so much, false, BS, around anyway. And then it's like, who's he to say, or this, that, or the other, and who's got the claim, to truth or whatever. This is this whole thing of Jupiter and Sagittarius. Jupiter is in Sagittarius until December. So we are expanding our understanding of natural law, of what is honest, what is true, and am I really, walking the talk? That's the, and of course, we're all just doing the best we can and striving to overcome, our wounds and our childhood stuff and our past life stuff. We're all wounded. I mean, it's like, yeah, we're hobbling down the basketball court trying to get the freaking basket, baby. So take it easy on yourself. You want to chill out with this, because it can be very easy at this particular time to get overly down on yourself, on your partner, on your life, on freaking anything, because it's not in this ideal state. So, it's just, we're in the Cuisinart, man. The processor. It's just all about processing some of that stuff, making ourselves a good, healthy, green smoothie. Oh my God. Ow! When there's a lack of depth and intimacy, ow! Ethics, morals, and honesty, I know that it begins with me standing in truth with integrity. May you stand in your truth, in integrity, to the best that you can. Inch by inch, baby steps to the kitchen. We can all do this. And we can all give each other a break and help each other do it gracefully, smoothly, lovingly. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.